He reads those books in the various voices. And then he was doing Kronk and Yzma, going back and forth with various lines.
Oh, jeez.
In a Kronk voice, he said, "Put your hands on the headboard." Which is just really funny. Denizens of the internet, this is Sellout Podcast.
Should we at least see who won the match?
I don't give a shit. It was the worst. It was so bad.
It was kind of boring.
That story that I was telling before Denizens of the internet is more entertaining than the podcast than this podcast you're about to listen to. The podcast itself going to be more entertaining than the show we're talking about. And this honestly is how we're going to give you a benefit of watching anything coming out of Texas. Proof in the pudding that the East Coast is where it's at for entertainment, boys and girls. I don't care about your Hollywood.
Although it would be cool to go to that McDonald's they have there now.
Whatever. Look, it'll be cool to go there and then pretend we're not at this wrestling show. So anyway, we're talking about, what was the show called? I didn't even get the name.
It was New Texas Pro Wrestling Watch the Throne.
I mean, look. I'm watching the throne because there's nobody worthy of sitting in it. I don't know
why it was called Watch the Throne.
I'm sure, well, because it was their version of Night of Champions Crown Jewel, right? There was a title in every match.
Not every match.
Well, just about every match.
I think they had older titles on the match.
Every match should have been a title match because they should not have run additional matches with people who didn't have titles. It was boring.
Well, when you think Watch the Throne, it makes me think of, like, King of the Ring.
Yeah.
I thought it was like that.
I mean,
I thought it was going to be like their version of King of the Ring, where there'd be, like, a tournament or something.
I would rather watch the first King of the Ring. And hey, if this is somebody's favorite wrestling promotion, and you're not from Texas with a bias, feel free to drop a comment in the comment section below explaining why this is good, or if there's a specific thing you want to watch. We watch it on IWTV. We're trying to dignify the IWTV purchase by watching stuff.
There has been a lot of good stuff on there.
There have been a lot of good stuff, and none of it looks like it's coming out of New Texas Wrestling or whatever.
That was the first thing we watched from them.
Yeah. Anyway, first match on the card in girly handwriting comes from... guys! Goddamn!
We forgot to introduce ourselves.
I'm Adam Even.
And I'm PJ Adder.
Hi! No, I can't read your girly handwriting.
It's not girly.
It's looks... Okay, fine, your pharmacist's handwriting.
I do not have pharmacist handwriting.
I'm gonna get a picture so we can show people. That note's for free.
That could be our thumbnail.
There you go. Thumbnail of this video is going to be PJ's totally not girly pharmacist handwriting.
Why is it gotta be girly and pharmacist?
Hey, are you saying women can't be pharmacists?
No, we know a couple of them.
Okay. Anyway, what's the first match? We're already devoting too much time to this bullshit.
Shimbashi versus the Wind Dragon Dustin Nugan? And it said it was Dragon on Dragon combat match.
Okay. That's it. The phrase was more entertaining than the match.
You told me to write down New Japan Ramen Place.
Yeah, apparently there was a New Japan Ramen Place in Texas. I was going to look it up, but this is already more time than I really want to devote to this show.
Well, the Wind Dragon won.
The Dragon win?
Yes, the Wind Dragon won.
When did the Dragon win? Last Thursday. I don't know when this is. I'm not even... It is currently up behind me, and I don't even want to give the
March
effort...
March 10th.
Look, so PJ is right on the other side of me. We have our little coffee table and the microphone set up between the two of us. I don't even want to turn around to look. That's how little effort I want to put into this, because it was just not that good.
I didn't think it was possible, but they made a TLC match kind of boring.
We'll get to it. What's the next match?
Max Heights versus Diego De La Cruz. It was a champion versus champion match. They said winner take all, but one of the dudes had 2 championships and it was not in line. So it was champion versus champion, as you said before. It ended up with both of their shoulders being on the mat. Double pin.
It was entertaining. That was the first time it was entertaining. I know it's the second match. I was like, I honestly, like, I was like, okay, their curtain pull match, it needs to be entertaining regardless of who's fighting. You need to have 2 good guys that really are like, ooh, this is good. And then you can slowly start to chill it out. But then you had this second match having a really interesting conclusion. Not a great fight, but it wasn't, like, I was able to keep watching it, right? But it had this really interesting conclusion, and then it went right back to being bullshit again.
So, Max Heights was the Loco champion, and Diego De La Cruz was the Lone Star champion. The Loco championship was kind of cool looking.
Yeah,
it had like a
crazy face,
cool wrestling mask on the title. It looked cool.
Yeah.
And then, because of the double pin, they both get to keep the titles.
See, my personal opinion is, if it's winner take all, or if you're having 2 titles on the line, if it's a double pin, that is a really interesting opportunity to have the belts forcibly traded.
Yeah, or have it vacated or something. I don't know. But that was, I mean, how often do you see a double pin?
In a title versus title? Not nearly enough. They could have done literally anything with it, and like I said, the conclusion was just as boring as the match was, because he walked away with the title. Not what one guy wanted to have more of a fight and try again.
De La Cruz wanted to do it again, keep going, and have the Lone Star Championship on the line again. And the other guy was like, "No, I'm good."
And that was the Loco champion.
Yeah.
So not the guy who
Loco champion.
The guy who should be crazy is not crazy.
Yeah.
Because restarting the match would have been awesome too, but they didn't even do that.
No.
Like, the guy was just allowed to walk off with his title. I'm assuming the story they were telling was he barely won that match, but every single match on this card contained 90% wrestling school moves.
And I mean, they were saying that Max Heights, the guy who walked away, was the person who had held the Lone Star Championship the most.
So you think he would want that title back?
Yeah, they said he had won it 4 times.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's the history-wise. They don't want to bog down their records with whatever, but I honestly, it would have been way more interesting if they were forced to trade titles.
Yeah.
Or anything.
Something.
Forcibly restart the match, or have the titles vacated and then won later in the show, but, you know, that's rewarding your champions for losing.
Yeah. It basically ended in how it started.
Yeah. They counted both people winning as a disqualification. That just didn't seem right to me. Next match.
Yep. Triple threat women's action.
Okay. And was that entertaining? I wasn't even in the room for it. I got so bored I walked off.
It was okay. I mean, it was Charity King.
Oh yeah, that's the one that I said would pair well with TDT, right?
Yeah. She is one half of the NWA Women's Championship, or Women's Champion, versus Amira. She's called the Tower of Power, versus Rachel Rose.
Any good?
I mean, there was that one part where Charity King picked both of them up in the corner for a Samoan drop. Remember that?
But
you came in there for that.
Yeah. I have a really weird ability to kind of know when a good spot is coming, and I found myself mostly in my phone or in a notebook or watching something else, because I can do that and still catch all the good bits, and there was just not a lot of looking up. Worst case, you know, PJ says, "Hey, rewind, look at this," and then I see it. But even PJ was having trouble finding things to rewind for.
Yeah. Charity King won. I mean...
No shit.
Yeah. She seemed like the most established wrestler there.
Charity King, if you are listening to this, you are awesome. Go look up a guy named TDT and have yourself a match at AML.
That'd be awesome.
It'd be so freaking cool.
Okay, so next, this guy named the Rottweiler, Jay Davis, did a promo where he basically called anyone out.
Oh, yeah?
He was the guy with the chain.
Oh, yeah, he made a line for people to step across.
And, Brick Savage came out.
Dude looked like literally a monster. Imagine like, if you were to have given the Titan formula to, the Samoan werewolf. Like, this guy clearly is an import. He looked awesome, and he had a halfway decent match.
I wrote next to his name, just one big dude.
Just one big dude. He was huge. Like, this guy was like pulling JAC stuff like blah blah blah, I'm the best, blah blah blah, you dare come to my ring, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But he was either looking at this man in the chest, or he was forcibly having to crane his neck up to look up to this guy who just did not give a shit he was in the ring with a pipsqueak.
Yeah, and the Rottweiler dude basically laid his chain down in the ring, and he was like, if you really want to fight me, you have to cross this, and the dude was like, okay.
Okay.
And then just went right across it.
He was like, do-do-do, and he stepped, yeah.
I mean, there was only like one, like...
Because, yeah, that man didn't have to step far, because one of his gate is half of the ring. This
Dude
man was big. He was big. Everything's bigger in Texas, and apparently it either is bigger in wrestling or boring in Texas.
And I was kind of surprised when that Jay Davis dude actually chain suplexed Brick Savage.
Oh, wait, he used the chain to suplex him?
No, he... chain suplex, did it over and over
again. Well, that's probably his thing, given the chain.
Of course, Brick Savage won.
Well, yeah.
He was a mountain of a
That's
dude.
like having Jacob Fatu and having him lose in our generic show.
Jacob Fatu versus, Spike Dudley.
Was that a thing?
No. I'm just saying, it would be that equivalent. You have not even seen anything on Spike Dudley, have you?
I've seen him get the crap kicked out of him.
Yeah, that's about it. He used to get the crap kicked out of him by his
Skinner! Brothers. Little! Man!
Yeah. And then next, Mysterious Q.
Oh, that was by far...
Promo.
I guarantee we could have watched the half an hour to an hour that we skipped, and that would have been the best thing that happened during the entire show. Because somehow they can't manage to get wrestling going without resorting to wrestling school crap. But they managed to have a really good promo done by this guy who's just trying to come back.
Yeah. He wasn't coming back yet. Remember they said he was still in rehab?
I don't know what happened, but this Mysterious Q guy comes out, fanfare,
and then
explains, he's in rehab and he's getting his body fixed. Not like he's in rehab because he's a drug user. His leg got fucked up, and he was in rehab because he was trying to get it fixed or something. And
then the Dream Team comes out.
Skyline, but crap.
And basically mess up his leg again. Put his ankle in a freaking chair and
re-broke his leg.
Essentially, yeah.
And he said he was supposed to be coming back shortly. But yeah.
And then it was Robert Martyr versus Lee Moriarty.
Both names cooler than the actual match they had.
Yeah. That's all I have written down for it.
Who won?
Lee Moriarty.
Next.
Sherlock's main antagonist. Moriarty.
Mm-hmm. Marty versus Martyr.
Then it was Texas Contenders Series Championship match. Pineapple Lord Kenny Calypso versus Just Nick.
Oh, God.
It's JUS space X space NIC.
What?
That was his name.
I can't read
like
it.
the rapper guys. How they do X in the middle.
Like Lil Nas X or something. Whatever.
He was the champion.
Oh boy.
I don't think we made it through that match.
I was like, no, we're gonna give this guy this conversation. This conversation's more entertaining than the thing.
Well, one of the guys was called Pineapple Lord. He came out with a pineapple.
Well, he's Calypso. He's an Islander guy, and his whole thing is, he's a swinger.
Swinger?
Well, yeah. You don't know that the pineapple is the sign for swinger couples?
No.
Yeah. Am I just introducing you to this?
Yes.
Oh boy.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Makes that person in Virginia Beach who puts the pineapple out front their house every single year for Christmas really seem like something different now, huh?
Jeez. Did not know that.
Yep.
That's in my head now. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Then we skipped
two
matches.
Somehow that thought is actually not as bad as this pay-per-view, though. But yeah, dude came out with a whole pineapple. It's typically an upside-down pineapple, but still.
He held it straight up.
He did hold it straight up and down. He didn't want to scare the kids that he might be the new daddy. Mom's shopping, looking for a new daddy.
I mean...
She's looking at the pineapple guy. Oh boy.
I mean, those rolling headbutts were kind of cool.
No, he had some cool moves, but
it was the other guy though.
Yeah, the other guy. Those guys. One of them had cool moves, but the rest of it. I mean, seriously, it was match after match after match after match of wrestling school quality stuff, and maybe they're a wrestling school show. I don't know that they did. Normally, they'll talk about the school. But I don't know. After we watched a few of it, there were some really cool headbutts. He literally kind of goes into the ropes, but then just falls over like a beached porpoise.
Yeah.
But I was like, I saw more of the wrestling school body slams, and I'm just like, let's just skip to the main event.
So we skipped 2 matches. But to be fair, this freaking pay-per-view was 3 hours long.
It was 3 hours long. We already gave them 2 hours of our life. There was another hour and then the main event. And, oh, God.
Just couldn't make it through. And we watched a little bit of the main event.
I was like, yeah, no, we're moving this last chance to the main event. And we watched a little bit of the main event and then got...
It was a triple threat TLC match for the tag team titles.
Have you ever fallen asleep during a TLC match that had a title as a prize? Well, this show managed to have me falling asleep in the middle of a TLC match. At that point, I was in here. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it one. Maybe I haven't been fair, right? I'm gonna give it one more chance, and I'm gonna watch TLC, which is a really fun match type. And no, they managed to make it boring too. Not to mention, it was
very clunky.
It was triple threat tag team shit, and God, it was bogged down. The times of this pay-per-view were bogged down by everyone having a 10-minute entrance.
Yeah. The entrances were very drawn out.
This is something we didn't mention since the very beginning, but since the very first thing, there were 10-minute entrances to the ring. They could have had this done in 2 hours and 15 minutes if they just actually had match content, but they didn't.
To be fair, the 8th day kind of was interesting. At least one of the teams in this was interesting.
The 8th day, they were very cool. They're like a religious concept. What was the name guy called? Father O'Day?
O'Day. I think it was O'Day. Let me look it up real quick.
Father O'Day?
I think so.
Oh, I thought they said Father Obey.
I'm gonna look real quick.
That name's, hey, the 8th day. If you really want to call yourself Father Obey, if that's not the case, free of fucking charge.
They were pretty much the only interesting part of...
No, they were really... It was it was not a tag team so much as they were...
It was like a whole group.
They were a faction of 8th day worshippers, and they followed this father guy who was picture the Dark Father, but you flip the gamma on him, and he's like white and dark skinned instead of white and black outfit, you know, because he's from Sweden, right?
Who?
Malachi Black.
I think he's from New Amsterdam.
Oh. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Why they change it, I can't say. People just liked it better that way. Istanbul, not Constantinople. Now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople. Been a long
Father
time.
O'Day.
Father O'Day.
And Brother Tracy.
And their mini greases.
I mean, they were interesting looking. I mean, they're apparently 4-time tag team champions.
Oh yeah, they were trying to get that 5th time, and we didn't know if they won or not, because I didn't care. Even a good group like that can't save a match.
They're apparently on different shows, too.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, that's all we could gather from this, so, I don't even know how far in we are. It couldn't be more than 20 minutes. What does it say? Ah, shit. Anyway, so what we're doing with this is we're trying to separate match coverage. So these are going to probably be shorter unless we're really, like, smitten.
Yeah, unless it's a really great pay-per-view. Or show.
I almost was like we should watch the rest of the show and just do the service of condensing it into a half hour instead of watching 3 hours. But don't even waste your time. The whole point of this was we're going to have coverage as one type of video. And then we'll separate shooting the breeze and just talking about wrestling in general in another type of video. That way, you can have your match coverage. If that's all you're here for, you can have your specific videos.
And we'll try to put it in like a separate playlist. If we think about
Indeed.
it, we will try to do that.
And then you will have the stuff we talk about. Like if you come for our personality and you just like us chit-chatting, or you having something in the car as you're driving around, or working. If you're working, cool. Hi. Welcome to the workplace.
Hopefully it makes it a better day for you.
Yeah.
Or makes it go faster.
Then those will be in separate videos, and we're fully encouraging you to listen to everything. But hey, I also understand that some people show up. Some people show up for Good Mythical Morning, and some people only like to watch Good Mythical More. All right.
I mean, make your own opinions about things. Don't let anyone else sway you.
Like,
one way
hey,
or another.
you might think the Texas wrestling scene is absolutely the biggest thing in the entire world.
Yeah,
cool.
You could have like grown up with it, or
cool.
Maybe you're
I personally, I didn't like it. I was getting put asleep. But if you enjoy it, I'm not telling you to stop watching it.
Yeah.
Continue to watch it. God damn, somebody needs to.
I mean,
you know.
Yeah. There's gonna be more stuff out there.
We'll probably try New Texas Wrestling, blah blah again.
We'll probably try it again. We're not a one and done type people.
Nah, I'll watch it till it gets pretty. You know, like drink until you get pretty.
Yeah.
Well, you get uglier the more you drink, but
I fall asleep when I get drunk.
And I don't know what happens.
You get giggly.
I get broken. I'm like a machine that is missing a cog or something.
And we turn on musicals and you start singing the entire musical.
I am really a fan of musicals. We gotta see if there's somebody recorded Wrestling the Musical.
I think last time you got really drunk, we turned on Nightmare Before Christmas and you just did the entire thing.
What can I say? I'm a thespian.
Yes.
Alright. So, tail end, we're gonna be throwing this in at the tail end of a few videos. But we got 2K24, and I feel like we're far enough past embargo time to be able to do whatever the fuck we want with it. So, if you guys are interested, streaming here on this YouTube channel, we're gonna start, I haven't figured out a time yet, streaming stuff from the game, and maybe even start running our own little wrestling promotion.
Yeah.
Through the in-game systems, which should be really interesting and fun.
Very interesting.
We've been wanting to do this for a few years now, and
This new game looks so good.
And the game's really good. Really, really, really good. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled on the YouTube channel for that.
And we've been thinking about rewatching Penis Party.
Oh God, shush! No spoilers. Future video.
It's not a spoiler.
Whip it out.
No, I don't have that.
Okay. Why? It's 2024, the year of our Lord. You can't whip it out?
No.
Okay. Good night, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, God bless you. Leave a like if you think we're silly in our opinions of this Texas wrestling promotion. Tell us about it in the comments section below. What's that?
Educate us.
Educate us like a CM Punk fan in a TikTok comment section talking about how a wrestler gets to come back and do a wrestling thing. Aye. All right, folks. Don't forget about the streaming thing. We are going to be looking for you. Peace and go with good health.
Bye.